Good evening, everyone. It's senior night at Rouse Field, and we're going to tune in to the pregame festivities right quick. You're listening to Rouse Raider Baseball on SHN Sports.
Then transferred to a university. His favorite baseball memory is the Corpus tournament and when he was not injured. The accomplishment that he's most proud of is graduating high school and joining the baseball team. His favorite quote is, "To the fence and back," by Coach Crimpine. Number 10, Zach Cleek, is escorted by Paul and Sandy Cleek. He is a pitcher, and his future plans include attending the University of Houston and majoring in exploratory studies. His favorite baseball memory is taking Peyton Driggers deep. The quote that he lives by is, "You have to be able to accept failure in order to be successful." Next we have number 2, Andrew Garcia, and number 3, Matthew Garcia, being escorted by Rod, Sandra, Fuego, and Troy Garcia. Andrew is a catcher, and his future plans include attending UTSA and studying computer science. His favorite baseball memory is playing in a 12U baseball tournament in Waxahachie, Texas, at the Kyle Pears Memorial Tournament, raising awareness for Naegleria fowleria. The accomplishment that he's most proud of is facing adversity and stepping out of his comfort zone, making the most of his senior year. The quote that he lives by is, "Stay far from timid. Only make moves when your heart's in it," and live the phrase, "Sky's the limit," by Biggie Smalls. Matthew plays third base, and he's also a pitcher. His future plans are to attend the University of Incarnate Word and study athletic training and psychology. His favorite baseball memory is teaching younger ball players the fundamentals of baseball. The accomplishment that he's most proud of is learning to play 2 different positions last year. The quote that he lives by is, "You can't connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect them looking backwards." Steve Jobs. Next we have number 1, Dylan Lewis. He is escorted by Robin and Bailey Lewis. He plays second base, and his future plans are to become a firefighter. His favorite baseball memory is riding the bus with the team, and the accomplishment that he's most proud of is playing baseball for 15 years. The quote that he lives by is, "Never regret a day in your life. Good days give you happiness, and bad days give you experience." Number 18, Ethan Steele Moore, is escorted by Greg and Janelle Moore. He is currently an RO, which means runner only. His future plans are to play football at Texas Lutheran University and major in physical therapy. His favorite baseball memory was the Laredo tournament. The accomplishment that he's most proud of is making all-district for football for 2 years in a row. And his favorite quote is, "Without pressure, there's no diamonds." Number 21, Robert Mount, is escorted by Scott and Leslie Mount and his brother Michael. He plays left field, and his future plans include attending Sam Houston State University and pursuing a bachelor's degree in Homeland Security Studies. His favorite baseball memory is hanging out with friends during tournaments. The accomplishment that he's most proud of is graduating with 21 college credits. The favorite quote that he lives by is, "The future doesn't belong to the lighthearted, it belongs to the brave." Ronald Reagan. Next we have number 12, Hunter Norris. He is escorted by Les Norris and Don Stovall. He plays outfield, and he plans to attend Texas State University and major in computer science. His favorite baseball memory is hitting his first home run. The accomplishment that he's most proud of is finishing high school and moving off to college. His favorite quote is, "Live as if you were to die tomorrow, learn as if you were to live forever," by Gandhi. Number 14, Alex Cervatus, is escorted by Jill and Robert Cervatus. He plays outfield and plans to attend Texas State to study history and education to become a teacher. His favorite baseball memory is hitting his first home run versus Johnson City. The accomplishment that he's to the Fence and Back by Coach Krupke. And last, we have Jared Southard, number 23. He is escorted by Ray, Estella, and Tyson Southard. He plays outfield first base, and he is a right-handed pitcher. His future plans are to attend the University of Texas, play baseball, and study finance. His favorite baseball memory is winning district in 2017. The accomplishment that he's most proud of is throwing a no-hitter his junior year and also his senior year. The quote that he lives by is, "Do the little things so the big things become normal." Congratulations, seniors. You can now go back to the dugout so you can play the game.
Senior night for the Rouse Raiders 2019, where Rouse prepares to say goodbye to 11 seniors, just a little bit smaller than last year's class of 16 seniors. Raiders coming in tonight for district game number 11 of 12 versus the Pflugerville Panthers. Pflugerville Panthers, this is a meeting of 1 and 2 in district, Rouse being number 1, Pflugerville being number 2. If Rouse can take the victory tonight over the Panthers, they will clinch the title for District 17 5A. They will be district champions for the second time in 3 years. The first district championship coming at the feet of the Georgetown Eagles as the Raiders defeated, or they went 1-1 during the regular season and had a play-in game of sorts to determine who would seed number 1 going into the playoffs, and Rouse defeated the Georgetown Eagles at Connolly High School. That was a memorable game as Devin Tucker putting one over the fence, and Rouse soundly defeated the Eagles and went on to represent the district quite well in the playoffs. Won the first 2 rounds and eventually losing to Brenham, who went on to play in the state tournament, if I remember correctly. But those same Georgetown Eagles this year are ranked number 1 in the Diamond Pro Texas High School Baseball poll. The Raiders are ranked number 19, and we will meet Georgetown next week. As of this moment, that would be a matchup of 2 district undefeated rivals. They represent District 18 5A. But they soundly defeated the Lake Travis Cavaliers this past Saturday, 7-2. And the Cavaliers were ranked number 2 in 6A baseball. So Georgetown, a solid representative for the Central Texas area, along with the Rouse Raiders. So we'll take a moment and we'll be back with you here shortly. You're listening to Rouse Raider Baseball on SHN Sports. Good evening, Raider baseball fans. I'm Michael Francis alongside Scott Mount tonight as we are set to bring you Rouse Raider baseball, a district matchup between the Pflugerville Panthers and your Rouse Raiders. Tonight's victory, if the Raiders should secure it, will clinch them the District 17 5A title. They just came off taking 2 from Cedar Park last week, and last Friday night, Jared Southard took a perfect game into the 7th inning, and actually went 7 1/3 perfect inning, or 6 1/3 perfect innings, and looked like he might clinch that perfect game, and unfortunately that didn't happen. But just across town in Georgetown's pitcher pitched a perfect game versus Cedar Creek in District 18 5A that very same night. That would have been quite a feat. 2 SHN representative schools
I'd like to welcome everybody out to Rouse
with perfect
baseball.
games. So stellar pitching by both schools.
We'd like to take this time to introduce Pflugerville Panthers starting lineup.
Getting ready to go through the lineups
Number 6
tonight.
shortstop,
Don Porter
Travis
on the
Chestnut.
PA mic. Leading off for the Pflugerville Panthers,
Playing first base, Hernandez.
number 6, Travis Chestnut. He will be at short.
Number 10.
Batting
playing third
second,
base,
number 4,
Gomez.
Oscar Hernandez will be at first base.
Number 13.
Number
playing
10,
catcher,
Stephen Gomez
Galloway.
will be at third base, batting third. Number 13, Trey Dowley will be behind the plate. Number 3, Armando Cedillo will be in right field. Number 2, Clayton Chandler will be at second base. Number 18, Adrian Guevara will be in left field.
Tonight is going to be Hurtado.
The designated hitter, number 35, Desi Hurtado, will be hitting for number 5, Caden Crane, the starting pitcher.
Mendez. The rest of your Pflugerville Panthers. Now I would like to introduce the Rouse Raiders starting lineup.
Number 16, Mayan Mendez will round out the order in center field.
Number 23,
For
Jared Southern playing right field.
the Rouse Raiders, leading off, number 55, Dalton Porter, and he will be your starting pitcher tonight. Number 23, Jared Southard will be in right field. Number 22, Connor Bennett will be at short.
Playing first base.
Number 26, Lance Little will be at first base, batting fourth. Number 34, Fisher Kingsbury will be behind the plate. Batting sixth, the designated hitter, Tanner Robbins. He will be hitting for the third baseman. Number 3, Matt Garcia. Number 1, Dylan Lewis will be at second base and batting seventh. Number 14, Alex Servidis will be in left field. And rounding out the order will be number 6, Jake Alepa in center field.
Playing left field will be Alex Cervantes.
An overcast sky here tonight. A little wind blowing out of the
Jake Alepa. The Rouse
blowing out of the
Jack Cremonini and assisted by
southwest,
John Harris.
or southeast rather.
Yeah, it seems like every game we have had nothing but strong wind. Folks, we'll break for a moment for the national anthem.
And just like that, it's play ball. It's baseball time in Texas as your Rouse Raiders take the field and are ready to go. Want to recognize the coaches for both squads tonight. For the Pflugerville Panthers, head coach Dale Wagner. He's assisted by Dustin Johnson, Daniel Thomas, and Josh Wagner. For your Rouse Raiders in his third year, head coach Chad Crimpine, and he is assisted by Josh Harris. Defensively for the Raiders tonight, Dalton Porter will be on the hill. Fisher Kingsbury behind the plate. Lance Little at first. Dylan Lewis at second. Connor Bennett at short. Matt Garcia at third. Alex Servetus in left. Jake Alepa in center. And Jared Southard in right. And that wind is definitely popping the crowd, Mike.
Wind is blowing straight out of right into left. Just another typical night here at Rouse Field this spring that we've had nothing but extremely high wind.
You see the flags at center field, they are blowing straight away. And there is no droop to them at all. In fact, you see the cable that the flags are mounted to actually pulling out away from the pole.
Looks like we have full stands here tonight, folks, but still plenty of room. If you're just now tuning in, turn off the radio and come down to the ballpark. It's going to be a great game tonight. Two district rivals that are going to go head-to-head.
Pflugerville 2 games behind the Raiders. Actually, no, they're actually 4 games right now, because they still have another week of district baseball versus Marble Falls next week. And as I mentioned, if the Raiders can win tonight, they will clinch the district. If they just win one of the 2 games versus Pflugerville, they'll clinch the district. Leading off for the Panthers, number 6, Travis Chestnut, the shortstop. He will dig in from the right side. Pflugerville in their blue tops, white numbers and letters bordered in gold. Gray pants with blue piping. Raiders in their home whites. Dalton Porter delivers high for ball 1. With gold letters and numbering bordered in maroon. Chestnut takes for ball 2.
Pflugerville squad is jumping on Dalton quickly. There goes that team banter.
The pitch. High and inside for ball 3. Three and 0 the count to Travis Chestnut. Porter has the sign. He winds and fires. He drops a slider in for a strike. 3-1 the count. Well, there's one way to shut the chattering down, and that's to shut them down.
I have a feeling that Pflugerville is going to come in here very aggressive tonight.
The 3-1 delivery, and that bounces away for ball 4, and Chestnut gets on base, and that'll bring up the first baseman, Oscar Hernandez. 1 on with no outs here in the top of the first. We're just getting started. Porter moves in from the stretch. He toes in on the first base side of the rubber. Pitch sails high for ball 1. Porter's release just a skosh early as his fastball sails high. Porter steps up and throws over to first, not in time. That was close to being a balk. His his right leg went up and kind of moved a little bit toward home. If you make any motion toward home, it's a balk, and he got away with that one. The pitch in for a strike. That'll even the count up at 1.
Sure wish our stadium lighting would come on.
Porter checks Chestnut at first, throws over. Chestnut digs back in. Snap throw over. Not in time. Chestnut staying close to that base with the lefty on the mound. The 1-1 delivery. The throw down from Kingsbury will not be in time, and Chestnut has a stolen base. He definitely has some wheels. Runner at second with no outs. The 2-1. Pitch in for a strike as Hernandez was taking all the way. 2-2, the count to Hernandez. Porter looks Hernandez at second. Comes home. This is swung on and fouled back. The count will stay even. Chestnut extends his lead at second. Bennett slides in behind him. Hernandez calls time and gets it. Kingsbury will take a moment to talk with Porter. Probably try to help settle him down just a bit.
Just a bit.
The chatter does seem to affect him a little bit.
Let's focus on this batter, get this out.
Two balls, two strikes to Hernandez. Porter comes set, checks Chestnut back at second. Comes home. Curveball bounces in the dirt and away from Kingsbury for ball 3. Senior night for the Rouse Raiders tonight. The payoff pitch, a swing and a miss, and that'll retire Hernandez. Porter gets the strikeout, and that's how you do it right there, Scott.
That's exactly how you do it. He set him up and froze him.
Number 10, Steven Gomez, will dig in from the left side. Gomez, the third baseman for the Panthers.
Lefty on lefty matchup.
Lefty-lefty matchup, as Scott said. Chestnut taking small, choppy steps to throw to Bennett. He wasn't quite ready for it. I didn't think he expected Porter to actually throw it to him, but in and out of the glove, but thankfully it was in and out of the glove and not into center field.
Yeah, that would have been a disastrous.
1 on with 1 out here in the top of the first. We're scoreless. Chestnut takes off to third. The throw down. Servatus is going to be late to the plate, and Pflugerville will score.
that's what happens. Unfortunately, the baseball starts to get thrown around, and just a little bit of a high throw to third.
The 1-0. It's high and outside. We're ball 2. Two balls, no strikes to Gomez. The delivery, this is cut on and hit out to left field. Cervatus has it, gets it in to Bennett. And the Panthers pick up their first hit of the night. A single to left. That'll bring up the catcher, number 13, Trey Dowley. Porter comes set. He delivers low and in for ball 1. Porter really struggling to find the strike zone here in the first inning. Work out the butterflies and he'll settle in. The 1-0. That's in for a strike.
It's obvious right now this inning the strike zone is going to be very, very tight.
One and one the count to Dowley. Pitch sails high for ball 2. Steven Gomez at first with 1 out here in the top of the first. Panthers lead 1-0 over the Raiders. Pitch from Porter misses low for ball 3. Three and 1 the count. Throw over to first. Keep Gomez honest. Gomez did an outstanding job, or not Gomez, but Chestnut did an outstanding job of timing his jumps on the pitch. The 3-1 in for a strike.
Yeah, Michael, he had him down great, and he basically stole his entire weight over to third base, and then with the opportunity with the overthrow, scored a run.
The payoff pitch, that's cut on and fouled off. Pitch in on the hands. Raiders just need to play their brand of baseball and everything will be all right.
They just need to get in sync. I think it's before the ceremony, or before the game, the senior ceremony.
Ball 4. And Porter has given up 2 walks in this inning.
Brings up number 2 for the Panthers. I'm sorry, number 3 for the Panthers. Cedillo.
Number 3, Armando Cedillo, will dig in from the right side. Courtesy runner for the catcher. Number 8, Mario Mendoza, running for Dowley. Coach Crimpine, and it looks like Porter is going to be done. He's seen enough, and Connor Bennett is going to come in to pitch. So we should see Tanner Robbins come in to second base, and Dylan Lewis will move over to short. And
Number 25
Porter.
Bennett will be replacing Dalton Porter on the mound.
Porter will come in to center, and Aleppa will move over to left.
That's one thing about the team this year, Michael. Coach Krempine and the varsity team have a very deep bench. We have quite a few players that can come in on situations like this, make the necessary adjustments, and move the game along.
And that's a nice place to be when you got the tools to be able to make those changes.
So while we have this pitching change, let's talk a little bit about the senior night. We have quite a few alumni parents that are here tonight that came back out and helped prepare the field. One was Kelly Thomas, a varsity or an alumni mother whose son graduated last year, but she's the one who painted the players' numbers on the field tonight. She's volunteers to do that the past few years. I believe she's the head florist at HEB out there in Georgetown. If you make it out that way, go by and say hi to Kelly Thomas. Thank her for helping out tonight.
They're good people.
Porter moves to center field. Galloway moves to short. Ali moves to left.
Galloway?
Bennett comes in to pitch.
Okay.
So we've got Coach Krempine making some changes tonight. We've got some JV players that he's called up. One will be Ryan Galloway. He'll be taking shortstop.
All right, make sure I get this right. Cedillo takes for ball one. I think take a little moment for Bennett to get in his stride. A 1-0 pitch. Misses low and inside for ball two.
Strike zone here is extremely small.
The 2-0 pitch in for a strike. Bennett picks up the sign. The 2-1 delivery. Gets that outside part of the plate for strike two, and Cedillo in a 2-2 count. 2 on with 1 out. Raiders really need to get some outs. The 2-2 pitch. Oh, and that hits him in the helmet. And that will load the bases. Raiders in a jam early. Bases full of Panthers. And this is the, well, I don't know what to say it's exactly the first time, but I would say it's probably close to the first time that's happened in district play for the Raiders.
Especially this early in the game.
Number 2, Clayton Chandler stands in. The second baseman, he takes for ball one, or strike one. The 0-1, this is a chopper. The throw to first in time and get the double play. The Raiders get the double play to get out of the inning with bases loaded. What a throw by Dylan Lewis to Lance Little. Galloway plays the grounder, gets it over to Lewis, who gets it on to Little.
Welcome to the varsity, Mr. Galloway.
6-4, 4-3 on the double play.
That was one of those extended innings, Michael, 20 minutes or half inning. So,
well, let's hope we don't see that for the rest of the way. Due up for the Raiders, Dalton Porter, Jared Southard, and Connor Bennett. While we're sitting there, Scott, you know, I'm starting to get that empty feeling.
That
in
empty
my stomach.
feeling?
Yeah,
I think
I'm really hungry.
Bohemian's Barbecue would fill that void. You know, we've talked about them all season. I wish they'd bring their food truck out here, but there's really no need because they supply the barbecue for the concession stand. But I understand they have a food truck out in Jonestown area. Next time you're on your way to the lake, stop by and see Bohemian's Barbecue and tell them thank you for supporting Rouse baseball.
Defensively for the Panthers, on the hill, number 5, Caden Crane behind the plate, number 13, Dowley. Hernandez at first, Chandler at second, Chestnut at short, Gomez at third, Guevara in left, Mendez in center, and Cedillo in right.
Well, Michael, I don't know if you saw it or not, but all of the senior players tonight received a commemorative wooden baseball bat that was custom made and have the names of all the varsity seniors. It was made by a guy named Nathan Bird with Bird's Wood Service or Bird's Wood Shack.
That's cool.
Yeah, worked with us at short notice, so I want to say a shout out to Nathan Bird, the owner of Bird's Wood Shack. Give him a call. They're really good looking baseball bats, and appreciate his help for the Rouse Raiders tonight.
Crane picks up the sign from Dowley from the windup. The pitch in for a strike. Nothing in one to Porter. The 0-1 pitch. That's high and inside. A little breaking ball action for ball one. The 1-1 delivery. That's down and away for ball two. Little slider from the lefty. 2-1. That's hit back up the first base line. Porter in a foot race. Just came up short as Hernandez stepped on the base about a half step ahead of him. That will go 3U on the putout. One away for the big right-hander, Jared Southard. Southard playing in right field tonight. A little off-speed pitch from Crane. Falls in for a strike. The 0-1 pitch. It's just a bit outside.
Just a bit outside.
That'll even the count up at 1. Southard crushes this out to left, and Guevara over makes the catch, and Southard is retired.
That brings up number 22 for the Raiders, Connor Bennett.
The pitcher, number 22, Connor Bennett, comes to the plate.
Well, that's certainly not the way we want to get started. But
So essentially, Galloway comes in for Servetus. He will be hitting in that spot. 2 balls, no strikes to Connor Bennett. The pitch from Caden. That's hit up the middle. Falls in for a base hit. And Bennett stays hot at the plate.
He sure does. Keeps his hitting streak alive.
I need to talk to Coach Crampine to give me access to Game Changer, and I can see the stats. Give you some more information. Number 18, Ethan Moore, comes in to courtesy run for the pitcher as Lance Little comes to the plate. This would be some sweetness if he could get it over to the left field fence. With his power, he could do it with the wind. It could give it that little extra oomph.
Little certainly has the power to do it.
Pitch from Crane, right at the top of the zone for strike. Little takes. Raiders have one on with 2 outs here in the bottom of the first. The Panthers lead this one 1-0. Both teams have a hit so far in the game. 1-1 pitch, that bounces away from Dowley. And what an outstanding play by the shortstop, who came in behind the second baseman. That was Chestnut. Man, I tell you what, that young man seems to be a heck of an athlete.
If he would not have been there, it would have gone into center, and runner would have advanced over to third. But at least we got one in scoring position now for Lance.
Well, the pitch fouled off. That'll take the count to 1-2. Raiders would love to get this run home and tie the game back up. Crane comes set. The pitch, that's fouled off, and Little stays alive. Kind of golf swing that one, and a pitch that was way low. One and two. Crane from the stretch. Moore extends his lead at second. And Little puts this into right field. Moore around. The throw is going to be home. It's going to be cut off. And Little is tagged out, but not before Ethan Moore strolls across the plate to tie this one up. After one complete, Raiders pick up 1 run on 2 hits and nobody left on. We're tied up 1-1. You're listening to Rouse Raider Baseball on SHN Sports.
That's what we needed, Michael. So.
That's exactly what the doctor ordered. Little gets the single, and then he gets caught stealing, trying to get the extra base.
Back to what I was speaking about earlier, it's a special night here at the ballpark with senior night, a long tradition that, Michael, your family went through.
Twice.
Twice. Another one of our alumni volunteers, Joe Dominguez, he installed the senior tiles that were ordered. And another tradition here at Rouse Baseball, the parents have an opportunity to purchase a tile for the player and put the years of playing and also any biblical passage or other things that the player would request, and it really looks nice.
When they first did it, they told us we couldn't put anything on it other than just the years that they were in the program.
Right.
So that's why you see that when you come up.
Appreciate
Adrian.
Joe Dominguez coming back. His son graduated last year too.
Number 18, Adrian Guevara, the left fielder, stands in as he faces Connor Bennett for the first time tonight. He takes for strike one.
That's our first strike.
Fastball right down the middle. A curveball. That's what we're used to seeing from Connor Bennett.
I had to double check with Dalton Porter to make sure that was a strike. And okay. I guess it's going to be outside tonight.
The 0-2 just misses outside for ball one. 1-2 the count. The delivery has cut on and foul tipped into the glove of Fisher Kingsbury for out number one.
That brings up number 35, the DH, Hurtado.
Designated hitter number 35, Desi Hurtado. He's hitting for the pitcher, number 5, Caden Crane. He takes for ball one. One 1-0 delivery. Drops in for a strike. Gotta love the little subtle way. I mean, it doesn't have a lot of break action, but it's got that off speed and then falls back over the plate. Fastball misses the outside corner for ball two. 2-1 the count to Hurtado. Foul tip off the
umpire.
Thin part of the bat and gets the umpire. And the count evens up at 2. Nobody on with one out. Connor deals this one. It's right down the line to Little. He'll walk over, step on the bag, and that will retire Hurtado. 3 unassisted. That's 3 U on the putout. To the bottom of the order we go. Number 9 hitter. Number 16, Mayan Mendez, the center fielder. This is another kid with speed. He takes for ball one. Tell you what, that pitch looked pretty good. It might have been just a skosh outside, but the way it tailed away from the plate.
This umpire is wanting him inside. Or
2-0 the count.
Favoring the right side of the plate.
The 2-0 delivery, that's right down the middle for a strike. As Mendez was taking all the way.
However, I will say he is lined up perfectly. The umpire is. We've seen in the past where
3-1 the count to Mendez. You really don't want to walk the number 9 hitter. The 3-1, this is cut on and hit out to center field. Dalton Porter tracks it, makes the catch, and that'll retire the side.
Willie Mays style, giving his dad a heart attack up here in the press box.
3 up, 3 down. No hits, no runs, nobody left on. After 1.5, we're knotted up at 1 here in Leander. You're listening to Rouse Raider Baseball on SHN Sports. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. This district matchup game between the Panthers of Pflugerville High School, a long and storied high school.
So, Michael, I guess we're lucky to get this game in with potentially bad weather tomorrow night and Thursday morning. But did you get any of that rain over on Saturday?
Oh, gosh. Oh, yes.
Able to get any yard work done?
No, because my wife and I were out car shopping. Believe it or not, we ran by the bank and got the money from the bank to go car shopping.
Nothing wrong with that. You know, the next time you're going to do that yard work, don't forget to get that good, great, outstanding local Texas mulch from Austin Wood Recycling. Right over there on 1431, they're the ones that make that good recycled mulch that your yards and landscaping needs. Because even though we're getting rain now, if we can get one more rain shower before the drought sets in, is what most of the ranchers say. Austin Wood Recycling, folks.
Number 34, Fisher Kingsbury.
Fisher Kingsbury will lead off the second for the Raiders.
Fisher, a junior on this squad.
Tall right-hander stands in. He digs in from the right side. Crane delivers, misses the outside corner for ball 1. Tanner Robbins on deck for the Raiders. Crane has the sign. He winds and delivers. This one a little soft changeup.
Oh, yeah, a little off speed there.
Right down the middle of the plate for strike 1. That'll even the count up. The 1-1 pitch, swing and a miss, as Kingsbury was about 6 inches underneath that one.
Yeah, he definitely chased that one.
He knows it. He wished he had it back. 1-2 the count to Kingsbury. Pitch, this is line down the first baseline. Hernandez over. Steps on the bag, and that'll do it for Kingsbury.
That'll bring up number 4 for the Raiders, Tanner Robbins.
3 unassisted. That'll bring up Tanner Robbins, the designated hitter. One away here in the bottom of the second. We're knotted up at 1. 1 out with nobody on. Pitch from Crane misses outside, and this umpire, it seems to be fair, Scott, because he's squeezing.
He's squeezing both sides.
That zone.
That looked like a good pitch to me, but
1-0 misses low for ball 2.
he is consistent though. You're going to have to thread the needle tonight, boys.
The 2-0, that's way inside for ball 3.
I see Mr. Rouse is down there in his golf cart. The Rouses have shown up.
Well, I'll tell you what, you talk
they
about
typically
a good man.
do, yeah.
The 3-0, that's in the dirt for ball 4, and Raiders get a base runner aboard on the free pass.
Big baseball fans.
Well, they're just good all-around fans of the school. They're at many, many sporting events and youth activities here at Rouse High School. Charlie Rouse being the namesake for the school, a longtime principal of Leander High School. Pitch from Crane, that's inside for ball 1. And Crane all of a sudden losing the direction of the strike zone.
Shortstop giving some kind of pointer.
He probably comes up telling, come on, relax, man. You got it.
Relax, yeah.
You got it.
These star lights are on now.
Robbins at first. Crane from the stretch deals high for ball 2. 2-0 the count to the second baseman. I think at this point you have to take. He just hasn't been throwing strikes. You got to make him throw strikes before you're going to even think about swinging the bat. As he's thrown 6 consecutive balls. He again goes to first. Doesn't have much of a pickoff move, so he's not very quick to first. The 2-0 delivery. That's just, I'll tell you what, you're right.
Gracious.
Squeezing that zone. I think that would have been a strike by any other. But you got some activity going in the Panther bullpen. Lewis was anticipating ball 4. He takes for a strike. That'll take the count to 3-1. Robbins with happy feet over at first. He gets back to the bag as Crane throws over. It's You know, it's interesting to see. We talk about this time and time again when how a pitcher changes when a runner gets on base.
Yeah, the whole stance, the whole attitude changes.
Lewis takes for strike 2, and that'll work the count full. The pitcher loses focus. Some pitchers lose focus, and they worry about the base runner. Lewis tags this one out to right field. And kind of one of those no man land bloop singles out to right, and caught Tanner in no man's land, and he had nowhere to go. And that'll go 9-4.
9-4 on the
put out. Number 8, Ryan Galloway.
His parents are in the stand tonight.
Takes for ball 1. Pitch from Crane. That's high for ball 2. Two-0 count. Crane from the stretch. The pitch gets the zone for strike 1. 2-1 the count to Galloway. 2 outs with 1 on here in the bottom of the second. Galloway takes for ball 3. Finds himself ahead in the count, 3-1. Due up, Jake Alepa. He's on deck. The 3-1 pitch from Crane. That gets through into left field for another single. Lewis will stop at second, and the Raiders have 2 aboard. Galloway picks up his first varsity single.
First varsity single. Yeah.
That'll bring up Jake Alepa.
Let's keep this little 2-out rally going.
Dalton Porter now on deck. Porter gets as close to the plate as he can or is on deck. Warm-ups. Crane from the stretch. He's pitching from the center of the rubber, and Alepa, he said he went around.
Okay.
There was no way. He really checked his swing on that, but he gets rung up for it nonetheless.
Well, that changes the
0-1 pitch. This is taken out to
there
left.
You go. Well, he's going to make him pay for it, folks.
It's going to the fence. That's going to score 2 runs for the Raiders. Alepa with a triple. Actually, I think he's going to get awarded the single, and it's going to be an error on the left fielder. Raiders get 2 across. A 2 RBI single for Jake Alepa.
Just at the right time, folks.
And Coach Wagner calls time. He's going to come out and talk to his lefty. That brings up Dalton Porter.
But, folks, if you're listening, settle in. It's going to be a long game, it looks like. We're still in the bottom of the second.
Raiders with 3 hits in the inning has scored 2 runs. and working to take command of this one.
And up back for the Raiders, number 55, Dalton Porter.
Number 55, Dalton Porter, will dig in from the left side. Crane back to the windup. Porter takes for ball one. Porter, the sixth batter of the inning for the Raiders.
Suicide squeeze on, and he's safe.
And he's safe.
Good play calling.
That's what you can do when you've got speed like Aleppo.
Yep.
On third base. And the pitcher who went to the windup instead of the stretch.
And not paying attention.
Raiders lead this one now 4-1. Nobody on with 2 outs. Dalton Porter with a 1-0 count. Suicide squeeze by the Raiders to get Aleppo home. The 1-0, this is cut on and hit foul down the first base side. That'll even the count up at 1. Jared Suttard on deck for the Raiders. Caden Crane from the windup. He delivers that off-speed curveball in for a strike. And I tell you, I'd be surprised if that thing's hitting 60.
Barely.
I don't know that it's doing that. It's got to be in the mid to low 50s. The 2-2, this is cut on and hit back up the middle. Dalton Porter with a single to continue the Raider rally.
Keep this rally going.
That'll bring up number 23.
That is the 4th hit of the inning.
Mr. Southers back up the plate. University of Texas commit.
2 pitchers warming up for the Panthers in the bullpen.
And now the Raider dugout is giving a.
Southard hits this out to center. Mendez over, makes the catch, and that'll do it. But the damage was done. The Raiders score 3 runs on 4 hits, 1 left on. After 2 complete, it's your Rouse Raiders 4, the Pflugerville Panthers 1. You know, we got out of a pickle right there, Scott.
We sure did. And I tell you what, when you find yourself in a pickle, another alumni you should call, Dale Vanoy at Farmers Insurance. Dale, the proud father of an outstanding all-state catcher, Cody Vanoy, graduated last year. When your career or job has got you in a pickle, contact Dale Vanoy. He'll help get you out of that. Hit a home run with Dale Vanoy and Farmers Insurance.
I'd like to thank the Vanoy family for all they've done for the program over the years that they were here.
You know, we keep talking about our alumni. One person we didn't mention during the senior announcements was Mr. and Mrs. Porter's other child, their daughter. She did the player announcements as being escorted to their numbers on the field. We gave a little bio on each player. So I really appreciate her assistance. We have a long tradition here at the Rouse baseball family, and a lot of alumni have come back. A lot of alumni parents are in the stands tonight.
Travis Chestnut comes to the plate. He's 0 for 0 with a walk in the first. He cuts on this one and fouls it off into foul territory. Matt Garcia over.
Makes the
catch. And that'll do it for Chestnut.
I tell you, Matt has really become comfortable in that third base role.
He has done an outstanding job in that position. He's only made 1 or 2 errors. One of them last week on a throw. Over to first. And it went into the dugout. This one's hit up the middle to Galloway. Galloway throws over to first in time, and 2 outs on 2 pitches. 6-3 on the putout.
I think Mr. Galloway's trying to play like he wants to stay up on the varsity.
Well, playoff-bound Raiders, he probably is.
We're going to need some depth.
Or at least on the Monday nights,
right,
or Tuesday nights. Steven Gomez stands in. He takes for ball 1. This cut on and just off the glove of Ryan Galloway into left field, and Gomez with the hit and gets the single. Galloway almost had it.
Almost.
It was a sharply hit ball, just out of the reach, or just hit the top of the glove.
I think it's time for his dad to buy him maybe a little bigger glove. That's probably what the problem was, wouldn't you say?
I would say so.
We'll blame it on the glove.
Trey Dowley stands in. Dowley drew a walk his first time up. 1 on with 2 outs here in the top of the third to throw over from Bennett. Not in time as Gomez dives back in. Bennett pitching from the stretch. The 1-0. That's outside for ball 2. The 2-0 sails high for ball 3. Number 19, Connor Crane, getting loose in the Panther bullpen. The 3-0 pitch, fastball misses low for ball 4, and that's something you don't see from Connor Bennett, is a 4-pitch walk.
Now to the Panthers, number 3, Cedillo.
Number 3, Armando Cedillo comes to the plate. Number 8, Mario Mendoza will courtesy run for the catcher. The pitch to Cedillo, down and away for ball 1. That's 5 consecutive balls thrown by Connor Bennett. Bennett comes set. He deals. This one's cut on, popped up, and playable. Dalton Porter tracks it, calls it, makes the catch, and that'll end it for the Panthers in the third. They get no runs on 1 hit, 2 left on. After 2.5, it's Rouse 4, Pflugerville 1. You're listening to Rouse Raider Baseball on SHN Sports.
You know, Michael's seen Ryan Galloway being called up. He's really good friends with my younger son, Michael, who happens to be, the 3 of them are really good friends with a young man named Giovanni, whose last name just happens to be Reale.
You know, I was just thinking I would like some Italian.
And really, when Michael gets to go over to Giovanni's house, he always seems to get the good stuff. But
I'll bet.
When you're hungry, folks, another proud sponsor of our program, Reale's Italian Food over there on Anderson Mill Road, 183. Go see Bob Reale. You'll see Gino, Giovanni's dad.
Caden Crane back on to pitch the third for the Panthers. He will be facing Connor Bennett to lead things off.
One night Michael came home and said, "What'd y'all have for supper?" And said they had a spinach lasagna, and that wasn't on the menu. And I had to call Gino and voice my concern that
None was sent home.
None was sent home.
Yeah. That's what I'm
or
saying.
maybe it got lost on the way home.
Or maybe it got eaten.
Or eaten, yeah. You know, 16-year-old boy, you know. It's,
you know, they look like they need a sandwich, but according to Mr. Kingsbury,
yeah,
Fisher eats a lot.
Eats a lot. Likes to eat. Likes to help his dad out at the ranch. That's part of his bio.
But you couldn't tell it by looking at him.
No,
It looks like
no.
he needs a sandwich. Umpire issuing some sort of a warning. I know.
I'm not sure. He's telling somebody to put something away. I guess there's a bucket or something that in the Raider dugout that
Bennett takes for ball one.
it has to be on the ground with somebody sitting on it. Can't use it as a drum, boys.
Pitch way outside from Crane. 1-0 pitch. That is fouled back out of play. Probably a good thing that it went foul back out of play because it was just going to be a nibbler kind of pop-up and it would have been an easy routine out. The 1-1 pitch is swung on. That's hit over to short. Chestnut has it, throws over to first in time. And Bennett is retired. 6-3 on the putout. That'll bring up Lance Little. Little with an RBI single.
Had that 2-out rally going.
He tied up the game in the first to end the first as he was caught trying to take an extra base. Crane winds. He delivers outside for ball one. The 1-0 delivery. That's high for ball two. Two-0 the count to Lance Little. Raiders on top of this one 4-1 here in the bottom of the third. Pitch. Wow, that's the first pitch I think I've seen out of the strike zone called for a strike.
Definitely a different call.
The 2-1 pitch. That's high and outside for ball three. Crane working from the windup, the 3-1. Swing and a miss, and that'll even the count, or not even the count, it'll take the count full. Payoff delivery, that one's cut on, and it's going to stay in the park. Dowley over makes the catch. And Little is retired. Pop up to the catcher.
Mr. Kingsbury's back up to the plate.
Kingsbury 0 for 1. He lined out to first. Curveball from Crane. He definitely had movement.
Did its
on that
job.
one. Kingsbury takes for strike one. Pitch in the dirt. That'll even the count up. One and one. The count to Kingsbury. That's hammered on and over to Chestnut at short. A throw over to first. Almost pulls Hernandez off, but gets it in time. That'll go 6-3. on the putout, and the Raiders go in order in the third. No runs, no hits, nobody left on. After 3 complete, it's your Rouse Raiders 4, Pflugerville Panthers 1. You're listening to Rouse Raider Baseball on SHN Sports. You know, one thing I really appreciate, Scott, I appreciate our law enforcement.
Thank you, Michael. We've got a good community support here in Williamson County, and part of that support is with our Williamson County Deputies Association. This is their 4th year to sponsor the program, and they do a lot of good work. They represent both the corrections side, or the jail side as it's known, and the law enforcement side. The Williamson County Deputies Association, we appreciate their support of the program.
Longtime supporters of Rouse Raider Baseball. Well, the one thing I've got to ask, I don't have a daughter, so, you know, going to the daddy-daughter dance is not a thing for me.
Right.
And, you know, we had some opportunities last week, and some people bailed, and we had some step up. And
we certainly did. Trying to think who all our board, the baseball board, are the ones who ran it. Nancy Templeton, and she coordinated the event. And from what I understand, it was standing room only. They're starting next year. They're going to have to actually put a limit because it was sold out. I think over 450 tickets.
Clayton Chandler stands in. He faces Connor Bennett. He takes for ball 1. So, and I understand that Bush's Chicken stepped up to cater the event.
They did. We had another vendor who had committed to, and then on the day before, dropped notice that they were going to provide the drinks. That's what they could do, and that happens. And it's part of the donation circuit that you have to get a part of. But the Bush's Chicken on 1431 stepped up and provided 200 snackers free of charge.
3 balls and a strike to Chandler. Count goes full. Payoff pitch. Bennett sails high for ball 4.
Well, it's time to go back into double play depth now.
Number 18, Adrian Guevara, comes to the plate. 1 on with no outs here in the top of the 4th. Guevara 0 for 1. He struck out back in the 2nd. He shows bunt. Fouls it off for strike 1. Fouls it right back to Kingsbury's glove.
Well, we've got an issue now.
Exactly sure what that was about. Nothing in 1, the count to Guevara. The 0-1 throw over to first as Chandler dives back in safely. The 0-1 pitch, this is hit out toward center field, and it's over the head, outstretched hand of Dalton Porter. And Guevara with a stand-up double. And the Panthers with runners at 2nd and 3rd with no outs. Number 35, Desi Hurtado, the designated hitter, will stand in. Bennett steps off. He wants to talk to Kingsbury, make sure that they're on the same page. Bennett picks up the sign from Kingsbury. On the stretch, he delivers for strike one. The 0-1, that's cut on and hit foul for strike two. 0-2 the count to Hurtado. Runners at second and third with no outs. Pitch.
Oh, my stars. Okay. Not really sure where that missed.
Curveball from Bennett. Misses for ball one. 1-2 the count. Curveball just up out of the zone. And they rule a balk, saying he didn't come set. One run has scored in the inning on the balk. One and two, the count. This is fouled back out of play. Raiders lead this one 4-2 here in the top of the fourth. Pitch from Bennett. This is cut on and it's hit foul.
A collective sigh of relief from the Rouse crowd. Had that gone fair, it would have gone all the way to the corner.
Interesting.
Panther dugout really giving it to Connor Bennett right now.
The 1-2 pitch. Curveball hammered foul.
Struggling to get that all-important first out.
Count still at 1-2. One on with no outs. One run has scored. The 1-2 pitch. Fastball down and away for ball two. Bennett leans in, picks up the sign from Kingsbury. Hurtado calls time and steps out. The 2-2 pitch. This is cut on and hit out towards center. Porter makes the catch and throws it in. Kingsbury doing a heck of a job to cut it off and keep Guevara at third base. That gets that all-important first out of Hurtado. Number 16, Mayan Mendez. Mendez flew out to center. He's 0 for 1. Pitch from Bennett, high and outside for ball one. Mendez digs in from the left side. The 1-0, a fastball in for a strike. Evens the count up at 1.
Coach Crimpine making some field adjustments, giving his signals to his outfield.
Mendez calls time and steps out of the box. The 1-1 sails way wide of the bag or of the plate for ball 2. 2-1 to count to Mendez. Ball 3. Three and 1 the count now to Mendez. Ball 4 and runners on the corners.
Field umpire is yelling something. I guess he's telling the Panther dugout to watch what they're saying. Apparently there's an issue.
Well, you can talk at the pitcher, you just can't talk to the pitcher. You can't address him in personal ways.
Right. Coach Crimpine probably reminding everybody now, hey, we're in double play territory here. Get out of the inning. Baseball fundamentals.
Connor actually going more than he normally does. Usually he comes in and pitches 2 to 3 innings.
Right.
In relief of Fisher Kingsbury.
That brings up number 6 for the Panthers, Travis Chestnut.
Back to the top of the order with Travis Chestnut. He's 0 for 1 and with a walk and a pop out in foul territory to Matt Garcia. So he takes for ball 1. Two on with 1 out here in the top of the 4th. Pitch from Bennett. Low and inside for ball 2. Two and 0 to count. Chestnut calls time and
trying to get the pitcher out of his rhythm.
The 2-0 took a little bit off of it and drops in for a strike. Two and 1 the count to Chestnut. Throw over to first, not in time. Guevara over at third. Chestnut fouls this one off. The count goes 2 and 2. Bennett.
Oh, folks. This is what happens when you throw the baseball around.
Raiders do get 1 out, but 1 run did score. as we had the lead runner in a pickle, and throw from Kingsbury back to Garcia went into foul territory and allowed the run to score, and the Raiders lead this one now by 1.
Garcia was able to put the put out on the runner coming around.
Two the count to Chestnut. Swings and misses for the strikeout. And that will do it for the Panthers in the 4th. Got 1 run, actually 2 runs on 1 hit. Nobody left on. The Raiders lead this one 4-3 going into the bottom of the 4th. You're listening to Rouse Raider Baseball on SHN Sports.
Got to get these runs back, Michael.
Got to get them back. Definitely do.
Can't.
Well, Scott, you know, my windows at home are kind of fogged up.
Are they?
Yeah, they are.
I need some new windows. You need to call Austin. Well, doggone it. I don't have my book in front of me.
Well, I bet Don Porter's got them over there.
Don, you got a program over there, buddy?
Well,
folks,
hold on, folks. We're
not
in despair.
Not in despair. I believe it's Austin. Look at Michael. My partner is going to bail me out here. They're in our program, folks. Austin Pro Siding. There we go. Another fine sponsor. Austin Pro Siding and Windows.
Well, I tell you what, they work quickly between the innings.
They certainly do.
Caden Crane back on to pitch the 5th for the Panthers. Tanner Robbins stands in for the Raiders. Pitch from Crane. This is popped up in shallow territory. Chestnut over makes the catch. And Robbins is retired. Infield fly to the shortstop. That'll bring up the second baseman, Dylan Lewis. Lewis singled back in the second. Kind of get that 2-out rally started.
Right.
And be nice to start the same thing over again, but Robbins reached on a walk. Lewis takes for ball 1. Crane winds and delivers. Misses for ball 2. Lewis started to show bunt, pulled back.
Pulled back on it.
The pitch from Crane, it gets the outside corner for strike 1. 2-1 the count to Dylan Lewis. The delivery fouled off. And that'll even the count up at 2. The 2-2 delivery, that's cut on and hit foul. That would have been ball 3. Lewis not swung at it. Got 2 pitchers getting loose in the Panther bullpen. The 2-2 pitch. That's cut on and hit up the middle to Chestnut. And it's short. He throws it into the dugout.
Yeah.
Lewis with another single.
Now bringing number 8 for the Raiders, Ryan Galloway.
And he'll get second base on the throw into the dugout. One on with one out for Ryan Galloway. Galloway takes for strike one. Galloway singled back in the second and later came home to score. The 0-1, that's in the dirt for ball one, and that'll even the count up at 1.
Good opportunity to bring Big D in.
Raiders need all the insurance they can get. The 1-1 pitch, that's in the dirt for ball 2. Dylan Lewis fairly fleet of foot himself.
Another senior on this varsity squad. Both his parents are in the stands tonight.
The 2-1 pitch, that's fouled off. That will even the count up, and Galloway a little upset with himself that he got just underneath it. Jake Alepa on deck for the Raiders. Crane from the stretch. 2-2 pitch, swing and a miss, and that'll do it for Galloway.
Now with the Raiders, number 6.
2 away
Jake Alepa.
for Jake Alepa. Alepa with a 2 RBI single back in the second. He also came in to score. Dalton Porter on deck. Pitch from Crane. In for a strike.
That umpire likes us outside, that far right side.
The 0-1 pitch from Crane. It's a swing and a miss for Alepa, and Alepa finds himself down in the count, 0-2. One on with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th. Alepa just gets a piece of it and stays alive. The count will remain 0-2. Lewis in for the steal. He picks up the steal. What's the, I don't understand.
The field umpire is saying one of the Panthers called time. Not really sure about this, folks, but
I've never seen that before.
I've never seen that with a stolen base. But now the plate umpire is having a discussion with Mr. Galloway. Oh, I'm sorry. Not Mr. Galloway, with
So that was a no pitch then.
it's going to be marked a no pitch.
I don't know. I've never seen that before. Who can call time? Alepa fouls that one off and stays alive. And
I'm not sure if he's saying Alepa made a signal to call time or.
Well, it was the field umpire that called
The field umpire is the one who called him back. So
Alepa takes for ball one. That was one of those close pitches right there.
yeah. One thing about it, folks, these umpire squad tonight, they are following the rules to the letter.
1-2 pitch. That's outside for ball two. Dalton Porter on deck for the Raiders will be up next if we survive to get to that point. Deuces wild to Jake Alepa. Pitch in the dirt for ball three, and he's worked the count back full. Never seen anybody call time in the infield. Alepa fouls this one off and stays alive. Payoff pitch.
Well, Coach Crimpine didn't challenge it, so once it was explained to him, he accepted it, and the runner went back.
The payoff pitch. This is fouled off and out of play. Alepa extending his bat and turning this into a quality at bat, which is a real thing.
Sure.
Whether he gets out or not, he made the pitcher throw.
Quite a few.
Ball four. It was down in the count, 0-2, and ends up drawing the walk. Dowley calls time, and they're going to call his coach out. They're going to go talk to the infield. Whether he's going to bring relief in or not is yet to be seen. And that'll do it for Caden Crane. So he gets the ovation. And as soon as I see a number 7, this is going to be Tristan Witt. Tristan Witt comes on in relief of Caden Crane. Witt, right-handed pitcher, tall, lanky right-handed pitcher.
It's tall and lanky. So this pitching change, folks, is another sponsor of our program, Waterboy Graphics. Haven't mentioned them much, but if you look out on our field, Michael, our banners that say Raiders Baseball, they were made by Waterboy Graphics. We've had them now for 2 years, and I can assure you, with the wind and weather that we've had, those look brand new, just like they were hung up.
They do. They look good.
Waterboard Graphics in Georgetown. Call them for all of your advertising needs. So who's coming to the plate?
Dalton Paul Porter.
Maybe.
Runners at first and second for the Raiders with 2 outs.
Maybe he can get things going for Aunt Kendall Harris up in Seattle. Oh, they're here tonight. Oh, that's even better.
Oh, that's even better.
I hope Aunt Kendall brought some money.
Brought him a check, hand-delivered it.
We've been doing all we can.
Or maybe cash.
Or cash. We've been doing all we can to help Dalton out, and it's time to deliver.
Or these days, even credit.
Yeah, well. So Aunt Kendall is here. That's
Raiders, just to recap, we're in the bottom of the 4th. Raiders lead this one 4-3 with runners at first and second, with Dalton Porter coming to the plate. Raiders at the top of the order, and Tristan Witt on in relief of Caden Crane for the Panthers. Porter's 1 for 2. He is lined out to first and singled in the second. So he takes for ball 1. Witt from the left side of the rubber. Porter hits this one out towards center. Mendez over, makes the catch, and that'll do it for the Raiders. In the 4th, Raiders get no runs on 1 hit, nobody or 2 left on. After 4 complete, it's Rouse 4, Panthers 3. You're listening to Rouse Raider Baseball on SHN Sports.
Don't go anywhere, folks. We know it's a long game tonight, but we have a lot of baseball left, and it's just going to get better. Top of the 5th.
Top of the 5th, and Connor Bennett back on to pitch the 5th for the Raiders. Due up for Pflugerville in the 5th, Oscar Hernandez, Steven Gomez, and Trey Dowley. I think somebody may be looking for you. Are they? Oh, they're looking for David?
I think they're looking for
They were
Mr. Little.
poking their head up to see if they could see somebody, but weren't seeing who they were hoping to see.
You know, Michael, this program you provided to me so I could remember all of our sponsors was produced by Minuteman Press out of Georgetown, your locally owned print and sign shop. They've done an outstanding job on our baseball program.
Oscar Hernandez will foul this one off for strike 1. Minuteman Press supporting many of the local area sports and schools.
We're very fortunate. We have a lot of local companies that are locally owned, not a chain company. And if it is a franchise, it seems like they really step up and go the distance.
This is lined up to Galloway over at short. The throw over to first in time. That'll do it for Hernandez. 6-3 on the putout. We'll bring up Steven Gomez. He's 2 for 2 and has singled in the 1st and 3rd innings. Bennett deals down and away for ball 1. The 1-0 pitch, fastball in for a strike. Connor Bennett showing a lot of composure.
He certainly is.
Pitching more than he usually does in a typical ball game. The 1-1 misses high and inside for ball 2. 2-1 the count to Gomez. Gomez fouls this one off, and the count goes 2-2.
I don't know why. I just cringe every time one of those balls goes foul out of the ballpark. There goes another $7.
Goes another foul.
They have gotten expensive.
2 balls, 2 strikes to Gomez. The pitch, this is hit into left. And Gomez stays perfect on the night. With his 3rd base hit of the night. Number 13, Trey Dowley, the catcher, comes to the plate. Dowley is 0 for 0. He's drawn 2 walks. He takes high and inside for ball one. Bennett checks Gomez at first. A throw over will not be in time.
Somebody from the stands yelling out Connor's first name.
The 1-0.
Has a fan club here tonight.
Tell you what, nearly any other time that would be a strike by any other umpire. Two 2-0 the count to Dowley. Pitch sails high for ball three.
Well, you don't want to walk this player.
He is the go-ahead run. He takes for strike one.
Does he really want to keep that person on first out of scoring position?
Trust your defense. Pitch sails high for ball four, and
hang on,
two
folks.
are aboard.
Here we go.
Swing on number 3, Panthers, Cedillo.
Armando Cedillo
Number 8,
comes to the plate.
Mario Mendoza will be the courtesy runner.
Mario Mendoza on the courtesy run for the catcher. Runners at first and second with one out. Cedillo takes for ball one. Cedillo is 0 for 2. He's grounded to short and flew out to center. Takes for ball two. And I'll tell you what, the strike zone is as tight as I have ever seen it.
Yep, and there's no activity in the Raider bullpen, so Coach is going to stick with Connor.
The 2-0 is high for ball three.
Connor getting some encouragement from some of the Rouse dads.
The 3-0, that's in for a strike. Three and one, the count to Cedillo. Curveball in for strike two.
That's his signature pitch right there.
Bennett climbs back in it. The payoff pitch.
Got him. Got him. That's how you play
Strikeout.
baseball.
And a caught stealing. That will do it.
What's the problem now? We obviously have a field umpire who does not like any type of celebration, folks. And from what we can tell up here in the press box, there's nothing from either team being derogatory. It's baseball players doing what baseball players do. Nothing's personal. Haven't heard any profanity. Just heard excited young men playing baseball, a close game. That's a shame.
Yeah, I think there's maybe a little bit of taunting going on, but I mean they've been going back and forth, and their dugout has been no exception. They've been chattering and saying all the things that come from baseball players. You know, anything they can do to get under the skin of the opponent, that's what they're going to do.
Yeah, but it's nothing what you would call rude or out of line. It's the typical baseball. So you can tell the body language of the field umpire, though. Hands on the hips, just very maybe doesn't want to be here tonight.
Well, he's very expressive, and when in his calls, and like when the ball goes out went out in the dugout, and he was expressive on to point the player to the next base. And
good point.
That's just maybe his character, his mannerisms, but sometimes it's like you give somebody a little bit of authority, and they like to run with it. Not saying that that's the case in this gentleman. I don't know him.
I like to support our umpires, but it's still high school baseball. It's a good teaching moment. Well, let's get back to baseball.
Number 23, Jared Southard, comes to the plate for the Raiders. And I didn't cap off that last half inning for the Panthers. They get no runs on no hits. Well, actually, they do get one hit.
Got one hit?
They did get one hit. No runs on one hit, one left on. After 4.5, it's Rouse 4, Panthers 3. Swing and a miss.
Wow.
You don't see that from Southard.
No, you don't.
The way he was backing out of the box and swinging at the same time. 0-1 the count to Southard. The 0-1 delivery. That's in for a strike, and that's one of the few times he's given that high part of the strike zone. He squeezes it pretty hard. The 0-2 from Witt. That's high for ball one.
Notice this pitcher really sets up on the far right side of the rubber.
Yeah, he's to the third base side of the rubber. The 1-2. Thought he checked his swing, but
they haven't got that call all night. So
that'll bring up number 22 for the Raiders, Connor Bennett.
Mr. Bennett's back up. So
Bennett 1 for 2. He singled back in the first, and then he grounded to short in the third. Raiders lead by 1 here in the bottom of the 5th. Witt from the stretch. Pitch misses down and in for ball one. Witt, a tall, lanky right-hander. Pitch down and away for ball two.
Long game tonight.
It is a long game. We're already 8:43. The 2-0 sails high for ball three. Like pitching has really struggled for the most part to find the strike zone. But he's starting to give that top part of the zone. That's the second pitch he's given up at that height. The delivery from Witt. This is crushed and popped up. It's an infield fly, and Chestnut makes the catch.
That brings up number 26 for the Raiders.
2 away for number 26, Lance Little. Tristan Witt doing his job. He's gotten 2 quick outs here in the top of the 5th. Pitch down and away for ball one. 1-0 the count to Little. 1-0 pitch. That misses. This looked like one of the better strikes that Witt has thrown, but he didn't get the call.
Wind still blowing very strong out to left.
The 2-0. A little curveball drops in for a strike.
Lance could get a hold of one. He could take it.
2-1 the count to Little. Pitch from Witt. Bounces in the dirt for ball 3. Raiders need to generate some offense. The 3-1, this is popped up and shallow right center, and Chestnut, who's all over the place, makes the catch. And that'll do it for the Raiders. They go in order in the 5th.
Yep.
No runs, no hits, nobody left on. After 5 complete, it's Rouse 4. Pflugerville 3. You're listening to Rouse Raider Baseball on SHN Sports. Connor Bennett back on to pitch the 6th for the Raiders.
You know, Connor might be a little sore tomorrow. He might need to go see Lacombe Chiropractic, the chiropractor of the team. Joel Lacombe, one of the sponsors of the program.
Right.
Some of our players go to him, Jared Southern.
You know where else they probably could stand to go right now? That would be over to
Kane Southwest.
Yeah, to do some BP.
Do little BP, yeah. Kane Southwest batting cages. It's a hitting facility at 11880 Hero Way. It's a different brand of baseball, Kane Southwest. I believe they should take a few reps in the cage. I think if we called timeout, they'd allow that.
Yeah, that's a good question. Clayton Chandler comes to the plate. He's 0 for 1 with a walk and a ground out to second. He takes for ball 1. He later scored on the walk.
Not sure where that one missed, folks.
2-0 the count to Chandler. Curveball in for a strike. The 2-1 delivery from Bennett, that's fouled back to the fence. That'll even the count up at 2.
You know, Michael, we were talking about foul balls earlier. I was cleaning out the garage and have 2 dozen of Diamond 1 baseballs still in shrink wrap.
The 2-2 pitch, that's high and inside for ball 3, and the count goes full.
I walked across the street, gave him to a neighbor of mine, a friend of mine, Austin firefighter, and he has 2 young boys playing CPYL.
Payoff pitch. Ball 4.
Fans not happy with that.
I think they're not happy with his bat flip.
My neighbor told me he was very appreciative of brand new dozen baseballs because they are expensive, and
right,
we're on the downhill side of that. And he said now when you're a coach at CPYL, and instead of getting 2 dozen baseballs, you get 6 Wilson practice balls.
Yeah.
How times have changed.
Rivera lays down the bunt, and Connor Bennett plays it, tries to tag. He misses the tag and ends up throwing him out at first. Moves Chandler over to second. Tying run at second base.
Good hit and run baseball there.
That'll be a sack bunt. 1-3. On the put out. One away as Desi Hurtado comes to the plate. Takes for strike one.
That's the first time he's called that inside all night long.
Hurtado 0 for 2. He is grounded out to first. And it's flew out to center. Hurtado down in the count 0-2. The pitch from Bennett sails high for ball one. One on with one out. Raiders lead this one 4-3 in the sixth. The 1-2. In for strike three, and Hurtado caught looking. 2 away.
The field umpire is angry again with the celebration. Not really sure what's got him angry tonight.
Yeah, I don't know.
But he's the umpire.
Mayan Mendez digs in from the left side. He takes for ball one. The 1-0. In for a strike. That'll even the count up at 1. Yeah, I've never really seen an umpire that really controls both dugouts is the way this guy's doing.
Like I said, you look at his body language, hands on the hips, very authoritative.
The 1-1, a swing and a miss for strike two. One and two, the count to Mendez. Mendez has 0 for 1 with a fly out and a walk. Bennett thought he had him. And it misses for ball two. That evens the count up. Deuces wild for Mendez. Bennett comes set. He delivers a swing and a miss for strike three. That will close the door in the sixth on the Panthers. They get no runs and no hits. 1 left on after 5.5. It's Raiders 4, Pflugerville Panthers 3. You're listening to Rouse Raider Baseball on SHN Sports.
You know, Michael, we can't say enough about SHN.
There's Glenn Foreman.
Yeah, I saw the Foremans earlier when I was walking up.
Yeah. That, and I saw.
Oh, the Bazemores are here. Foremans.
Right.
And the Thompsons were here.
Yeah.
A lot of alumni parents are here.
Saw J-Mo's mom here earlier.
So maybe some of our former varsity players are listening in tonight. So whichever one of y'all might have accidentally took the pinstripe, what number were we talking about last week?
Oh, gosh, there's several of them that are missing,
We put GPS trackers in the threads.
We will be coming.
We'll be in touch. We know a guy.
We do know a guy.
We do know a guy.
And if you're in Williamson County, it might be trouble. All right.
All good fun, folks. And
yeah.
We have a lot of fun with this program, and it's our sponsors that keep us in brand new equipment, safe equipment. And we talked about Dale Vanoy earlier. Remember our first year here, he donated 2 brand new pitching machines.
Number 34, Fisher Kingsbury, to get things started here in the 6th. Tristan Witt back on the mound for the Panthers. He digs in on that third base side of the rubber. He pitches exclusively from the stretch. Pitch from Witt in for a strike. And that was a nice-looking pitch.
That was a good pitch. Nice delivery.
Tanner Robbins on deck for the Raiders. Witt comes set. He delivers a swing and a miss from Kingsbury on a pitch that was low and in the dirt. Kingsbury down in the count, 0-2. The 0-2 delivery, swing and a miss, and Kingsbury is retired. Raiders not looking very sharp at the plate tonight.
When do we play Pflugerville again? Is it Thursday or Friday?
Thursday. It's a Thursday night game.
Thursday night game.
Good Friday being this Friday.
Oh, that's right.
Easter being this weekend. So it'll be a 7 o'clock start. It will be at their house, Pflugerville High School. Robbins takes for strike 1.
7 o'clock start time?
7 o'clock start time. The 0-1 pitch from Witt. This is hammered on and hit up to Chestnut at short. He has it. It's it over in time. 6-3 on the putout. That'll bring up Dylan Lewis.
Big D back up to the plate.
2 for 2. He has scored and singled twice. Scored once, singled twice. It's the first time he faces Witt tonight. And he chops this one up to short. That's going to be under the glove of Chestnut. And Lewis will reach on the error. That will go E6. E6 on the error. I'm going to bring up Ryan Galloway.
Ryan called up from JV1.
Brings up number 8.
Galloway 1 for 2. He has singled and struck out. And scored. Back in the second. Raiders have not got anything across the plate since the second inning. In the bottom of the 6th, the Raiders lead this one 4-3. 1 on with 2 outs. As Galloway comes to the plate. Galloway takes for strike 1.
You know, having a Thursday game actually puts a stress on your pitching rotation. Instead of that Friday game where you have a day extra.
Galloway takes inside for ball 1. Well, it's 1 day less rest.
We call that strategery.
That's what George Bush calls it.
That's right. It's
strategery. One pitch from Witt. Misses for ball 2. Dowley attempts to backpick Lewis at first.
You know, every time you say Dowley, I think of that movie, The Outsiders.
Throw over from Witt. Not in time. Lewis was standing on the bag. This is lined up to second. The lob over. That'll do it for the Raiders in the 6th. No runs, no hits. Nobody left on after 6 complete. So Raiders 4. Pflugerville 3.
We're going down movie trivia memory lane here, folks, talking about the Warriors and the Outsiders.
Due up for Pflugerville in the 7th. Chestnut, Hernandez, and Gomez back to the top of the order.
Yeah, here we go, Michael. Top of the 7th. Long baseball game. It's still a tight race here.
Connor Bennett back on to pitch the 7th. He is gone. If he completes this inning, he will have gone 6 2/3.
Yeah.
Dalton Porter actually getting 1/3 of an inning back in the 1st as Pflugerville took the lead, and they were up 1-0 at the time, and that took Porter off the hook for the loss.
Right. Let's see if we can get some magic going here, get these 3 outs.
Chestnut 1 for 3. So he bunts foul. And that kid is fast.
Yeah, he was already 3/4 of the way there.
This is somebody you do not want aboard.
No.
So he may go bunt again. The 0-1, he fouled or hits this one. The umpire says he's safe.
Well, we saw it a minute ago. He is a fast base runner. So he legs it out.
Well, this is going to be interesting. So he's going to get credit with an infield single.
And Connor needs to bear down and focus on the batters. Do not need a wild throw here. And that's just what we had, folks. Luckily, the base runner stayed on first, so.
I think a little trickeration going there. The 0-1. In for a strike as Hernandez attempted the bunt. Throw over to first, not in time as Chestnut dives back in. Throw over again. Bennett comes set. The 0-2 as Hernandez fouls it off. I think it was just 0-1 and now it's 0-2. Because that would have been the third strike. That would have been out. So 0-2. Now the count to Hernandez. The pitch sails high for a ball. Count goes to 1-2. Raiders lead this one by 1. The go-ahead run at the plate. Another pitch sails high for ball 2. That evens the count back up. The 2-2 pitch, that's cut on and hit out towards center. Porter over, makes the catch, and Chestnut will trot back to first base. Deep fly ball.
That was an
off the bat of Hernandez.
Important out. Now if we can go to double play depth.
And here comes Steven Gomez. He's 3 for 3 on the night with 3 singles. Batting from the left side. Throw over to first, not in time. Chestnut dives back in. Bennett comes set. The pitch, this is hammered on. And this goes for a base hit. And Southern gets to get under his glove and then makes a bad throw. And Pflugerville now has runners at second and third. Gomez 4 for 4 on the night.
Yeah, Dylan Lewis, our second baseman, was just out of position. He was running towards second base.
Number 13, Trey Dowley, comes to the plate. May expect to see a bunt.
Very well could.
Bennett drops in a curveball for a strike. A strikeout would be wonderful here. The 0-1, it's in the dirt. And Kingsbury, being a wall,
he is doing his normal, outstanding performance tonight.
Count goes to 1-1. From the stretch, the pitch, curveball in for strike 2. Dowley steps back in. Kingsbury gives a sign. The pitch, swing and a miss for strike 3, and Dowley is retired. 2 outs. Raiders 1 out away from winning the district championship. The tying run 90 feet away. 2 outs. Armando Cedillo, he's 0 for 3. He's grounded to short. He's flown out to center. He is struck out.
Here we go, folks.
The pitch, curveball in for strike 1. Nothing in 1, the count to Cedillo. Pitch from Bennett. This is popped up. It's playable. Lewis over, makes the catch, and your Rouse Raiders are the District 17 5A champions. Hats off to the Raiders. They defeat the Pflugerville Panthers 4-3 and pick up their second district championship, their first outright district championship. Congratulations, Raiders. Hats off to you. Connor Bennett comes in after 1/3 of an inning in the first. He goes 6 2/3 innings to get the victory for the Raiders tonight. He picks up the W, and the Raiders pick up a district championship. Outstanding, outstanding play.
And Michael just shows another district championship for head coach Chad Crimpine. Certainly has turned this program around in the short 3 years that he's been here.
And he's done an outstanding job. What a finish for the Raiders to get the victory tonight. Another close one. 2-1 to the Cedar Park Timberwolves on Friday. They come back tonight and go 4-3 against the Panthers. 2 close ones. but they pick it up and seal the district championship.
Sometimes that just makes it that much sweeter.
So don't know what we might hear, folks. I turned the crowd mic down.
We've got some excited fans on either side.
So, and it was a close ball game. A lot of good strategy from both coaches tonight.
Right.
That we saw them utilize, and Pflugerville wanted to be exactly where they were, to have Chestnut.
They came out
on
aggressive.
Third base.
Yep.
And with one out. He was on third base with one out, and the kid has some speed. If a ball squibbed away from Kingsbury, he was most likely going to score.
Can't say enough about our pitching and catching performance tonight. And as you said earlier, trust your defense.
Trust your defense.
Fisher Kingsbury was a wall tonight.
And Connor Bennett was asked to go the distance after Dalton Porter comes in for a third of an inning.
And how about our call-up, Ryan Galloway?
And Ryan Galloway playing great at shortstop while Bennett was on the mound. And not some of the best stuff that we really saw from Connor Bennett
it was
tonight. He was not his usual spot-on self. But, again, the umpire was squeezing the pitchers tonight.
It'll be interesting to talk with head coach Chad Krempine and find out exactly what were the issues with the non-celebratory warnings that seemed to be dealt out to both sides tonight.
Right.
Neither team was allowed to have just some normal banter.
Yeah, it was really disappointing to see an umpire just kind of take control of things like that. So, and what an end to a senior night for these seniors tonight. They come out here and get a district championship to put on their helmets, put on their ball caps, and tomorrow they might walk with their chests up a little more full.
Chest a little full.
Being the champions of District 17 5A.
I'm not sure our athletic director, Josh Mann, is here or not. I saw him earlier.
I saw him earlier.
Softball, but if he's still here, this is just another good win for the Rouse program, athletic program.
From a baseball program that struggled from its beginnings and never could really get on track, to making the decision to hire Chad Krempine from Salado, from an excellent program over there. You know, he went to the state tournament and played in many playoffs, and Coach Krempine, I believe, has 370 plus wins.
We'll get the figures for that for our Thursday game and update everyone. But
we will.
Something interesting, folks, that somebody reminded me earlier. This is the final squad of for Chad Krempine of players that were started when he was not here.
Right. You're right.
So next year will be players that have been here in the program since he's been here. So it just shows the strength that he's brought.
And the culture that
he changed.
He's created here. So
our alumni are outstanding. Our volunteerism is outstanding. And really appreciate everyone coming out tonight.
So we're going to close this one out. We want to give a tip of the hat to the Raiders and Connor Bennett doing a great job on the mound. Raider defense playing solid tonight. Just made a couple of miscues that allowed that one of the runs to score, that third run to score. But Raiders overcame it and picked up the victory and picked up the district championship.
And here's one of our players come up right now, Mr. Garcia. Outstanding game.
Yeah, you've really taken that third base and position and you've made it your own. You've played outstanding, and it's been fun to watch you play over there.
Really appreciate it, guys. Really appreciate it. Doing a lot of work.
A lot of work.
A lot of work.
Matthew,
to go.
one of our seniors on the varsity squad, so he'll be moving on. Remind us, which college are you going to?
University of Incarnate Word.
University of Incarnate Word. That's right, folks. So I guess we'll see
down in San Antonio.
Down in San Antonio.
Yep.
There we go.
So it won't be far from home.
No, it won't be too far.
San Antonio's a great town. I like San Antonio. I stayed there for a while when I was in construction. So, but Raiders pick this one up, and they pick up the district victory.
So let's ask
and the
Matthew. So
championship.
what was the field umpire saying? We couldn't understand up here. He didn't want anyone celebrating.
It wasn't necessarily us celebrating. It was when the pitcher was delivering, he was yelling at us to stop talking, or while he was delivering, and I mean, it's just cutting out the fun, but that's okay. And it wasn't even the field umpire that was talking to us after the game. It was more of one of the parents, and he was just chirping at us, but we kept our cool and just went straight to the dugout and didn't say anything. Let Crimpy take care of it, and we'll end up seeing him on Thursday.
Well,
there you go, folks.
Explain to us what happened on the one play where the umpire directed Dylan Lewis to go back to second base.
So apparently before that pitch, Jake Alepa called time, and the umpire didn't step out of the way. He didn't.
But it was the field umpire that made that made that call, and not the home plate umpire.
That's the thing that was really confusing.
Very, yeah.
So we couldn't really get an understanding of how exactly.
Because it's my understanding the home plate umpire does not have to award the batter the time if he calls time.
He does not have to. No.
So
the field umpire really cannot make that call.
Right. That's a call that's solely at the discretion.
They said it was an interference. But when the catcher backed up to throw it, he ran into the umpire. The umpire didn't move. So then
The umpire's part of the field. That's
we can speculate all night, folks, but the bottom line, as our players said, they let Coach Crimpine handle it, and the score on the scoreboard says it all, 4-3.
A district championship, so
Yes, sir.
we're outright district champions.
Good job, boys.
So congratulations, guys, and a great night of baseball.
Great night.
Awesome.
We will be back Thursday, Mike.
Thursday at 7 o'clock, we'll be at Pflugerville High School at their stadium over there. I think it'll be the first return since Coach Cochran was actually the coach. We played in a tournament over there that we were quite easily handled, but
Right.
we won't go there. We won't go there for that.
Okay.
So we're going to go to their house on Thursday. We'll see y'all Thursday night. Thanks for listening to Rouse Raider Baseball on SHN Sports. Thanks, Matt Garcia, for visiting with us tonight. And we'll see y'all on Thursday. Good night, everybody, and God bless.
Good night, everyone.